Hello everyone, this is Tuğçe and today we will prepare my bullet journal, October bullet journal spread. I'm gonna go for mushroom theme, which is not quite creative, but just bear with me. I was thinking like I would like to use mushrooms on this journal in one point, and thought the October or November could be also, but the pumpkins is matching way better with the November, so I just released my November theme. But probably I won't go for pumpkin because it's quite known and there are lots of samples for you to just like copy of or get inspired from. I might change it or find an alternative version to apply on my journal, but this month is gonna be mushroom. I just felt like it. I love drawing mushrooms. I just draw it once actually in my life. I mean, for those videos I had a, I had a series that sketch with me, and there was the first time I actually drew some mushrooms. And I enjoyed it a lot because I tried before like years ago and I couldn't do it, like, even though I practice art regularly and it's my job, there are some objects that I'm not good at drawing, and a mushroom was one of them. But I wanted to give it another try, but because I found them so aesthetic, I found them so beautiful, and it just happened. Maybe you just need to like give it a time and get back to it and try it again. So that's what I did, and happened to draw some beautiful mushrooms, and I thought that it can be nice to use them on the journal and just see them with the vibe of autumn a bit. So here we are. I inspired from some Pinterest artists before I start to draw it. I am not good enough to draw those things from my imagination yet. I can do like portraits, some other illustrations, but when it comes to things from the nature like animals or plants or veggies or fruits, whatever it is, I need a reference photo in front of me. I don't follow it 100%. I just look at the general shapes and the general shades to understand how I can transfer it on my paper. So I use Pinterest to have some inspiration before I start to draw this. Let me explain what I'm using here. I'm using my Winsor & Newton Cotton Series 48 color watercolor, which I'm quite happy with. If you're thinking to buy it, I recommend it. It's beautiful. This is the set that, not this one, but the same palette in a 24 color, I think I used for like last 7 years. I love it. Maybe because I'm just addicted to it, I don't know, but I love it and I recommend it fully. And I start to put a base color for my illustration first. I would like to use more color, more shades, like 3 different shades, maybe 3 different colors from brown to yellow. But my journal doesn't have very thick pages to deal with watercolor much, so I have to be careful to don't make any hole in the middle of my journal. So it's a bit faded. It's affected by the color of my journal pages also, because it's quite like sepia brown kind of color. Whatever I put on it, it always looks faded, which I love. It doesn't disturb me. But if you're using a white one, probably you will have a way better and way sharper effect than I do. After I let it dry, I'm using my Pilot gel pen to add the details. I'm not gonna color the mushrooms, at least on this first page, so I'm just gonna put the general shape with my Pilot pen. And when you add some color, when this Pilot pen touches the water, it's kind of fading. It's like it damaged it. I mean, I can't really call it damaged. It's like fading with the water, so I made sure the background is dry before I start to use this gel pen, because I really want the shapes to be clear, not faded or messed around. At least on this drawing, I prefer that way. So I make sure the background was dry before I start to apply this one. Right now I'm doing my front page design, which is kind of sad because I mostly design the most beautiful things here, and I happen to see them not at all during the month because I'm not using this page, so I'm not even looking at this page. I'm just going to inner side of my journal, deeper side of my journal, and spending my time there to planning my work, planning my appointments, planning my working routines or meetings, whatever I need to plan during the month. So it's kind of shame that the most beautiful drawing, I'm so humble again, I know, right? The most beautiful drawing I have kind of going to waste on this front page, but one of the things that I'm doing this kind of design on the calendars, like I always start with this nice drawing, because maybe there are some people watching this video and not into doing the journal, but just watching it because they are into art or just into my perfect conversation. I don't know why. Hello to you all. So I just wanted to keep it going, so even you don't go for the journal, you can at least sit and sketch with me meanwhile. So I think it's, yeah, I think it's kind of cool. If it were me, I would like to have something like this, the alternative just to doing from the journal or preparing a spread. There's like quite art involved, which actually what this channel is for. Last month I was actually thinking to do a digital version of these journals, and I actually asked on my previous video what you guys will think about it. There are some people say that they would like to see that, even they don't have like iPad, they don't do digital journaling, they would like to see it, like they would like to learn how it could look, or it could be interesting to see something different, I think. And I was thinking to use my iPad for it. And I was thinking maybe I can, like, whatever I draw there, you know, you can just draw it on your paper with your colors, with your pens, pencils. Or I was thinking like after I draw it on digitally, I can maybe share it on the drive, so you can actually download it, print it, and stick it on your journal or hold it on your wall and just can use it like this. That can be a nice way to go around. Also, what you guys think? That I might do it in like a couple of months, just to, I don't know, just to spice things a bit, you know. That's the way I spice things, it seems, because I'm like, I feel it's a bit repetitive. Like, oh yeah, it's repetitive. Every month we are preparing a journal, and I wanted to make something different. Even the theme and the mostly spread is changing monthly. I want to do something bigger, maybe, I'm not sure. And you know, actually I was thinking I can do some for the new year, you know, for the 2023. I have to start to think of it. I am already late, I think, maybe, but I was thinking maybe I can do a book of calendar, like prepared for the whole month. Would you be interested at buying it? What you would think? And if you're buying those kind of things, what kind of website you're using? International, I'm not sure what kind of website I can sell it from. Like there's Etsy, I think. I don't know if you're using Amazon for it. Can you let me know what website you're going for when you buy art supplies or anything, actually? Anyway, after I finish with my gel pen, I'm using kind of dark green, bluish green, kind of. I actually mix the green with the indigo and add some black inside and have this kind of dark greenish shade. I wanted to be quite dark just to give the nice contrast, as my drawing doesn't have it yet. And it looks quite good. I quite like it. And to make it more alive, I'm adding this kind of leaves on the background, which looks cute. And once they are dry, I'm using my gel pen again to add some more darker shapes around it. As I didn't use color on my mushrooms, it's kind of hard to separate them from one to other. So I'm making sure that with my gel pen, I'm putting some sharp darks edges to separate them and adding some big shadows in between. But it kind of scared me because my journal doesn't have very thick page. The page is, I think, like 170 grams or something like that. So I can't really go with lots of watercolor or lots of ink pen without damaging my pages. Anyway, I think it looks good enough. After I put my title, October, I kind of actually mess with it. I couldn't put it in the middle, so I'm adding a little mushrooms in the end. Doesn't look so cute, but just bear with me. I think it's the end of this page design. It looks super cute. I really like it. I don't say it often. Yeah, I say it often, but like, what can I say? Anyway, let's jump on to the next page. Here, I'm gonna put a giant calendar of the month, as I always do, which is super useful. But I wanna do something different this time. So I cut this papers from different journals I have, whatever you find around, you know. You can actually take it from a newspaper, you can take it from a shopping bag, whatever the material you have around you, and cut some pieces and glue them here on the corner of your journal. Why I did it is, first, of course, make it look more aesthetic. I quite like the combination of those colors together, but I want those sections to be a bit separated from each other, because last month when I do my calendar, I add this notes, like reminder kind of section on the side, and I realized during month I didn't even pay attention to it. I like literally forgot about it. It just faded on the side. And there were some notes that are some reminders that I supposed to remind myself during the month, but I have to remind myself to remember to use this section, so it wasn't really useful eventually. So I wanted to go for this kind of thing this month, so they are more separated, they are there, they are more visible than before. And to be honest, aesthetic wise, it looks so nice. I really like it. So to match it with the general concept, I am throwing some mushrooms around. I am using more or less like same colors. They're like 3-4 different colors for the mushrooms and the leaves, the blue green thing for the leaves, and I'm using brown, dark red kinda, and like yellow orange to have the general shades of the mushrooms. I keep the tones quite similar to each other to make them look more combined, you know, because those mushrooms grow side to side, so to give them a very different color, it can separate them from one to other, and I don't like it. I like them to look that they belong together, and using similar shades and similar tones help it a lot. After I put the base color for them, I let it dry, and I'm using my gel pen to define their shapes a bit better, as with the color I'm not doing it. It's better to use a gel pen to make it. I could have used white gel pen also, as my base color is not white. It can give a nice effect, but this time, this journal, this month, I'm gonna pass. I'm not gonna use white gel pen at all. But as a good suggestion, if you have a different color than white on your journal pages, you can use white gel, which looks super nice. I quite like the effect of it also. Anyway, after I finished detailing my mushrooms, I am putting my October title here in the middle, and I'm using my roller to divide the sections of the month. You can do it freehand also. I quite like the effect of freehand, but I wanted to do a mix, like some parts I'm gonna do it freehand, some parts I'm gonna use my roller to make it more sharper and nicer. Here, as you can see, I'm leaving smaller section for the weekend, as I don't work or plan my days ahead for the weekend. It's mostly spent with the family or the friends, and I try to don't work on the weekends, at least this year, because last year when I was studying and working, including Sundays, I was working, including day, night, doesn't matter. I barely had time to spend with my family or my friends. These months, at least, it's different. I have more time. I can just take the weekends off. So I'm leaving these small boxes for the weekend to remind it to myself also to have weekends off. But if you're like working or studying on the weekends, you can just put like huge boxes over there. Actually, to use a different kind of paper like we did on the left section can be good for the weekend also. I was actually thinking first, like, should I use these other papers to divide the weekends and the weekdays from each other? But then I decided to go for the just a note section, which actually gonna be must do on the top part. Those are the things that I must do, as you understand, like maybe doctor appointments, maybe some emails that I have to answer, maybe some works that have deadline on October that I have to finish. And the bottom part is gonna be notes. Those, I think, more gonna be things that like to-dos, reminders to myself, or reminders, the things to do, the things that I don't have to do this month, but can be do if I do, you know, less obligation, but good to remember kind of part. Anyway, after I am putting the days on the boxes, there is one more box because the month has 31 days, and I just wanted to edit on the left side. It's kind of attached later, but it makes the trick, so it's okay. Here we come to the end of the design of this page, so we can jump onto the next page. Here I usually, and this month also, doing my habit tracker, notes, creative ideas, blah blah blah. Some sections are changing monthly, which is gonna happen this month also, but let's start with the base colors first. I'm adding those like really basic base colors for the mushrooms first, so they can get dry. Meanwhile, I'm putting the sections and adding the titles. At the top part of this page is going to be habit tracker. I will have 4 habits this time to track. Actually, I could have some more because I'm super active lately. I'm doing lots of things and it could be good to track them down, but I don't know why. I just say that, okay, 4 is enough. And those are going to be like sport, to work out regularly, which I actually doing lately. I'm so proud of myself. The one beside is the food. Well, okay, eating healthy is not something comes so easily to me. I love desserts a lot, and I'm having some like hormonal imbalance weeks maybe with the season, maybe with the age, maybe with, I don't know, what stress level can be affected from a lot of things. So my eating habits is a bit shaky, so I want to follow it through, but I try my best and it's mostly okay. The next one gonna be Maya. That's the 3D program I use to prepare my portfolio and work on my animations. So I want to keep it going also. And the last one is language. I had this section for months and it's always empty, you know, always empty, like feed. But this month it's not gonna be empty anymore because I'm starting my Portuguese courses finally. I found a teacher. Finally, I found a teacher. So I'm quite excited because it's been like over a year that we are living in Brazil and I wasn't sure of learning the language. I can speak a bit like the basics to survive, but I always like when people speak a couple of languages, so I was like, come on, Tucci, it can be a nice opportunity to learn. But the first year, I was working and studying in the same time, like I say, so I didn't have really time. But the last couple of months, I had time and I was thinking, yeah, it can be a good period, but I wasn't sure, you know. There's something I wanted to do, but I don't know, something was holding me back. But eventually, I wanted to stop being lazy and stop procrastinating the things that I wanted to do, which affects my mental state also. And go for it. And I found a teacher and I'm starting the classes. I'm quite excited about it. So hopefully this section gonna be full, partly full by the end of the month. Bottom of them, there will be 2 other sections. One is targets. I found it super useful. I started to use it a couple of months ago and it works perfectly for me. I couldn't imagine. I started to use it randomly and it turned out to be something amazing. I am just going in the beginning of the month and putting some like easy targets, like doable things, like start yoga, go for a bike ride, whatever like I feel like gonna make me feel good about myself. I'm doing like 2 or 3 targets, I'm writing it down, and during the month when I feel bad or when I have free time or when I just want to do something, I'm checking what was on my list. It's like a little monthly bucket list and I'm doing it, and it's quite good because last month I put it yoga over there. I was thinking to restart yoga for a while, but I was postponing it non-stop. And I finally did it and I feel so good. The teacher is amazing. The way she teaches so good. It's quite intense, which I like it. I sweat a lot, but at the end of the class, I just feel perfect. So I'm so happy with this decision. So I'm keeping this section again for the next month. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put for the next month. Probably gonna involve ceramic, some biking, maybe some hiking. I'm not sure what you will put on your sections. I'm quite curious. Let me know, please. And the one beside is gonna be news. Here, I'm not sure what I'm gonna put exactly, but lately I discovered some new recipes, like whatever I have at home, I'm cooking mixed things and mixing some spices. I love to use different spices. And sometimes it turned out, most of the times let's say, it turned out to be eatable, quite good also time to time. Then I forgot about it, like what was it inside? I just remember, oh, there was something nice that I cooked last week. What was it? I can't even remember what ingredient actually I put inside. So I thought it can be nice to have a section to at least know things just in case. So we will see how useful it will be. On the right side of the page, there will be 2 sections. The top one is creative ideas. This is for more YouTube videos or any other creative job I'm currently working on. And the bottom part is going to be mood tracker. I used to use this section before and I like it. And last month, I think I put like I'm grateful kind of section, but I didn't really use it. I mean, after a couple of lines, the page was almost full and I was feeling repetitive. So I said that it's better to say it out loud instead of writing down if I really want to have such a habit to like say what I'm grateful to every day, which kind of helpful actually if you're feeling down or struggling with some issues. You can find it useful to remind yourself what you are grateful to every morning. Maybe after you brush your teeth, you can make a habit out of it, and you probably will see a bit difference on your mood and state of mind. Anyway, I wanted to put a mood tracker here because with the health problem, the stress level, the changes in the season, I feel like my eating and the mood swings are a bit off my hands, and I wanted to track them down to be able to actually see that if there are big changes or if it's just minor things you don't care, but it's always good to track it down. So here I am, and of course I am adding some little mushroom designs, and as you see on the white, it looks way different. The colors are more bright, nicer. It looks way nicer on a white paper than it looks on my pinkish, brownish, milkish journal paper, which I love, but not always like these colors on a white. They look just amazing. I wonder sometimes what kind of sections other people use, like if there's any other sections that you use and you find it useful, like the Target's one, you know, it comes just out of blue and I find it so beautiful, so helpful. If there's any that you use and you think that, oh, Tuğçe, okay, you can try this one, it's quite nice and helpful. It's, yeah, like if there's some insights that you have, you can please share them with me. I will be so happy. I think after I added last details on my sections, I come to end of this video. I hope you enjoy watching it and listening to me. Let me know what you think of the video and please send me your versions on Instagram. I would love to see what you come up with. I'm wishing you a happy October. I'll see you guys very soon. Ciao!